alternative investments has been rising. Cryptocurrency or decentralized digital money based on the blockchain technology has made way slowly but surely into our dining room conversations. And cryptocurrency has emerged as one of the most popular digital assets to invest in. So, crypto enthusiasts are keen to get more and more credible information. And to help our audience with that and also trade effortlessly, Moneycontrol and WazirX have partnered to launch Crypto Control, a one stop destination that will have engaging discussions, insightful podcasts, and thought leadership on crypto. Hello and welcome to this exclusive investor educational initiative. And the topic for this webinar is How is Crypto Transforming the Art World Forever? And I'm your host, Ruchira Sharma. So picture this, pun intended. Anyone can buy a Monet print, but only one person can own the original. And we are here to understand how is this changing the art world. So let's decode what are NFTs, what are the top trends, how have they originated, and what does the future hold for NFTs. So before we begin, let me introduce our esteemed panel of experts. I have with me here Mr. Ramesh Gopal, blockchain developer and founder COI, Ms. Neha Chakravarti, NFT artist and wall muralist, Mr. Angad B. Sodhi, co-founder Colors of India DAO and metaverse and NFT artist, Mr. Hari Menon, travel photographer and NFT artist, and Mr. Sandesh Suvarna, VP WazirX. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. And as we spoke earlier, what we are planning to do through this show is understand and deconstruct what exactly are crypto collectibles and how are they changing the art world forever. So let's find out what exactly NFTs are, what can they be used for, and how are they changing the boundaries of the digital and physical art world. So I'd like to come to you for that, Mr. Angad.
Sure. Okay, so let me start with what are NFTs, because I guess that's probably the best place to start this conversation. Now, an NFT is, by definition, it is a non-fungible token, which in other words means it is a token that can exist on the blockchain. So your fungible tokens are things like currencies. Your rupee is a fungible token. Your dollar is a fungible token. Which basically means one can be replaced with the other. So if I have $1 and you have $1 and we exchange our notes, we will both still have $1. Whereas with a non-fungible token, a unique entity can exist. So art became a very obvious place or rather the art world was a very obvious place for this technology to sort of start its journey, because you can now attach a unique piece of art, which is the face of this token, and it can have an individual value based on the artist's market value or the historical significance of the actual piece itself, or various. I mean, to be honest, it's not very not very different from the traditional art world in terms of how you would value a piece of art, because it is either something of historic relevance or it is something that carries a lot of brand value. And then, of course, now you have utilities where it is either a membership to a very elite club of sorts or allows you access to certain things. So when you look at the value of an actual piece of art or of an actual NFT, what you're really looking at is the story behind it and the story of the artist or the creator. So why certain things sell for millions of dollars versus other things, that, I mean, essentially you're selling a JPEG or you're selling something that someone could right click and download. The reason that some of these things sell for such high values is the story behind it. So if you look at something like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Bored Apes, they were initially, I think they came out for about $100 in April last year. And as the community started forming around this, as they sort of started becoming this very exclusive club, today apes are auctioned, on Sotheby's and things like that for over $1 million. And the reason for that is because people want to be part of this elite club, because everything that happens on the metaverse or on this digital space, you are valued by your PFP, which is your profile picture. So unlike, I mean, or rather, like if you were to sort of drive up to a place in a Rolls Royce, the equivalent of that is having a Bored Ape PFP on the digital space. So you're actually sort of establishing that you belong to a certain tribe or a certain club. I hope that answered your question.
Definitely. So you actually explained it pretty well, what exactly are NFTs and how they can be used. Sneha, what do you think are NFTs? How are they changing this entire art world? And what are they going to do for the boundaries of the digital and physical art world, really?
So, in a way, I'm seeing a revolution happening right in front of me as an NFT artist, as a conventional artist, both. And I think there's a lot more to explore. We are just in the tip of the iceberg. We don't even know what all is going to happen. We are all just waiting and we're just watching, okay, this is happening, this is unfolding every day. So, it's a very exciting time to be. And I'm so glad that, so far there are these tiers of artists, right? Elite artists who can sell, who has the privilege to sell in gallery. And then there
Mhm.
are artists who are in every household, because I'm Bengali, so in my culture every other house has an artist, but it's very difficult to sell. But now when I see that a space like NFT, a space like WazirX, a platform like WazirX is there, and where uh, things are so much easier. Anyone can actually mint, anyone can actually collect art. So the equation is changing, and we are seeing it right in front of us. So it's a very exciting time. For me as an artist, I am very hopeful for the future.
All right, that's great to know, Sneha. But well, the crypto art world is booming. Artists are becoming millionaires in a matter of minutes. So it's not just the bohemian artists that are jumping on this bandwagon. Even Christie's and Sotheby's are getting on this. So with the revolutionary blockchain technology being touted as the holy grail for record-keeping systems, I'd like to come to you, Mr. Sandesh. What does this really mean for the conventional art as we knew it and conventional artists?
Awesome. So that's a really good question. Uh, see, traditionally, back then, even before NFTs came in, as Sneha said, so it was very difficult for a layman to come and sell their artwork. And art has been an asset class since a way long back. Like if you, I think I would say, art has been an asset class even before the gold. Because if you visit any of the palaces, the first thing what you see over there is an art, right? So that's a common thing. So what NFTs did to the art ecosystem, I'm just talking about only one segment of it, which is art.
Mhm.
What NFTs did to the art is that NFTs brought in justice to the artist. Okay, so
Oh.
previously back then, people weren't able to showcase their art to the world. And even now,
Mhm.
people ask us, why should I buy an NFT rather than owning a painting, digital, like real world painting? The
Mhm.
answer what I usually tend to give them is that if you buy a painting and if you put it up in your home, only 10 of your guests will come and view it, watch it, right? But
Exactly.
if you buy an NFT, like
Mhm.
yesterday, Twitter brought in a native integration onto the
Mhm.
Twitter platform, where if you have a NFT, you can directly make it as a profile pic. Okay,
All
so
right.
this is what you can do with NFTs, that
Mhm.
you can showcase your art interest to the millions of people rather than a
The world
few
out there.
10 of them. Exactly,
And there are no
exactly.
boundaries when it comes to the digital world.
Exactly. So that's the thing. And if you look at like 2 years down the back, when the COVID hit,
Mhm.
uh, so everyone went into like if you just look at even your own day-to-day life, you spend more than 4 to 5 hours talking to people virtually, or you spend your entire half a day virtually, right?
Mhm.
And what you can and look at the kids right now. So kids are they don't. When I was a kid, I should go outside and I used to play. But now kids they're on
Mhm.
mobile, right? So what do you foresee in the
They are
future?
gaming. Yes, they are gaming all the time.
Exactly. So the future belongs to virtual world, and this is another thought process. Like the NFTs are going to be in the future. NFTs are going
Mhm.
to be the objects in the metaverse. Any objects you call in the metaverse, these are NFTs. So that's why everyone are getting into NFTs right now. Be it Christie's, be it everyone who was previously traditionally attached to the art world, they have to get into NFTs because NFTs bring justice to everything.
All right. Thank you for that. But I'd like to also come to Mr. Ramesh. You are a blockchain developer. So, what's your take on this? What does this trend really mean for art as we used to know it?
Hey Ruchi, good to be here. Thanks for having me. Yes, it's going to be pretty interesting when it comes. I'm a designer and an artist. I've been a designer and artist all my life. So when NFTs came into the picture, it made a lot of sense because I was in the technical space. I was into blockchain for quite some
Mm-hmm.
time, almost 6 years. And in fact, I see NFTs being here. It's going to stay. It's here to stay. And I feel, and even the banks have been saying it's going to go up to 80 billion dollar market cap and etc. So what I feel why NFT exists is just for the fact that it can be verified in the blockchain. So yes, you can copy your photographs, you can copy your JPEGs, you can copy your Bored Ape, your hash mask, your CryptoPunks, but that uniqueness is found in the hash, or when NFT is actually minted or it's been created, it's actually be stored on the blockchain, so anyone can
Mm-hmm.
actually refer back to the NFT, right? So that's the reason why people still keep buying NFTs for this big price. Just for the fact that anyone for that matter can go back to the blockchain and can verify who was the right artist or who the original creator was. So I see the future pretty bright for NFTs. The metaverse is coming in. You've heard about Facebook coming up with Meta.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard about Twitter coming up with all these big brands are jumping in. If you see, even Adidas has created, and they partnering up with Praga to create this insane avatar, or pretty much a voxel image of yourself in your form inside in the metaverse. So I see
Mm-hmm.
metaverse NFTs are going to be huge, and people getting in at the right time are going to pretty much have a very fun time, and it's been fun. It's been a very fun ride with all my friends here.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Hari, I'd like to come to you here. As we spoke, in fact, all the panelists mentioned this, that when it comes to art, it was a very exclusive space. So the accessibility of the art world has increased with with the advent of NFTs. So, what is your take here? Do you think it is breaking barriers, and now everyone has an entry point in this earlier sacrosanct and elitist space?
Yeah, I like to add on one more thing, which Neha was telling here. Like she was telling, NFT is not an easy thing to do for a traditional artist or a photographer who's coming from such background. So before coming to NFT, also I used to sell my works, and it was part of my profession. I used to sell photos before NFTs also. But the
All right.
best thing I experienced in NFTs, there are artist communities which will help you. You will be connected to
Mhm.
so many artists who's gonna help you with that, and you will get to know so many amazing artists, and you can collaborate with them. With that, I think even your art is developing with that. Uh, and I never imagined one photographer just sleeping one night and waking up as a millionaire next day. So
Mhm.
it's totally changed the perspective, and it's not just as selling your work. It's also about how the artists are building their brand. When
Mhm.
one work is getting that much recognition, that much value, it's adding a lot of value to his brand also. So that also matters a lot as an artist.
So recently, Sotheby's, which is a 277-year-old auction house, sold a copy of the original source code for the web as an NFT for $5 million. And Christie's was not to be left far behind, had work for more than $100 million in terms of crypto assets last year. So, what does it really tell you about the paradigm shift in the art world? And what do you think is the direction that it is going to move in the near future?
So, see, now as we see, the trend is definitely changing, and it's very clear because last I heard, the search of NFT has actually surpassed the search of crypto. So, how amazing is that, firstly? Right? So, we can see across all over the industry, different kinds of industry, I think we are all moving towards peer to peer based infrastructure.
Mhm.
And we don't want middleman anymore. So that's what is happening. We are all looking for a very transparent
An
transaction.
interactive space.
Yeah, looking for a transparent communication. So that's why I think the moment NFT appeared in our life, we are just running towards it and we want to grab it, because this has never happened before. When we, as an artist, we are in a space where we have the power. We have the power to know what we are getting into. We have the power to know who is the buyer of the art. We have the power to actually have something called royalty, right? And no matter how many times does my art sell, I'll still get a certain amount of royalty. So I think we are in a space where the trend is definitely changing, and Sotheby's and Christie's had to get in because they are very, very
They
smart
missed the boat. Yeah.
structure, right?
Missed the
So
boat.
yes, I
Absolutely.
definitely, yeah, see that this is happening and it's great.
Absolutely. And I read the same too, that this is the year of NFTs.
This is
So
the
I'm
year
glad
of
what's noted. Yes.
Just to add to, I think what Sneha just said, I completely agree with everything she said. I think what she's referring to, we also call the decentralized creator economy. I think this is what Hari alluded to as well. Um, the power now lies with the artist to build their own narrative. So for each of us, we can now build our own narrative, find the kind of collector who wants our work. Because in the past, the gallery ecosystem was a very, very closed, very elitist one where you could get in, but you usually got in on the terms of the curators and the galleries. And today you can actually build yourself. Today you are an entire business in yourself as an artist. And depending on how you sort of go out and brand yourself and tell your story, um, the sky is the limit. And what is even more amazing is you're now operating on a global platform. So you can be sitting in India, and just day before yesterday, I had an exhibition in Italy, and a week ago, I had my work up. 2 weeks ago, I had my work up in Hong Kong, and I didn't have to travel. I did not have to ship art. I did not have to package anything. I did not have to buy a ticket, or all I had to do was send a link, and that's it. So the power that we're getting as creatives now is unprecedented, and that, along with the community, this is the first time artists from all over the world are being able to collaborate and co-create and get to know each other. um,
Absolutely.
these two things are just so huge for artists that no matter what happens with NFTs as a technology, this is already a huge game changer.
Definitely. Actually, technology has changed every aspect of our lives. But Hari, I'd like to get your input here. Like Sneha mentioned, now artists, like writers, actually have a chunk of the pie each time instead of being paid just one time. And that kind of explains the mad rush amongst people to buy, sell, and hold these crypto collectibles. So, do you think it's a great trend for artists and it's going to make things better for all of you out there?
Of course, of course. One more thing, as I said, as an artist who invented NFT, I'm not just selling my art. From whatever I'm earning, I'm collecting art also. So it
All
had
right.
given me a great opportunity to collect some of the great artists' work and appreciate them, so that it's actually connecting more artists and art world is progressing that way also, because I never imagined I can collect some of the legendary artist work. So now I can also collect. So
All
it
right.
changed the whole perspective, because I don't think a common man used to think that way, like he
We
can
can manage.
collect some of the legends work. Now it's changing. So now the artists also becoming collectors. So that is a trend I'm seeing now. It's not
Great.
just specific collectors. Now the from the artist side also collectors are coming.
Definitely. Sandesh, I'd like to come to you for this. So, while we're talking about the digital art world, facilitating these online auctions are platforms like WazirX, Super Rare, and Nifty Gateway. And they have sprung up and they're doing so well. So, how are these platforms changing the game, literally, for the artists and for the buyers?
Awesome. I think this question has been answered already by Sneha. This NFT segment has brought in justice for passion economy. So when I say passion economy, these are the people who work for their passion. Okay. So back then, one generation ago, this wasn't there. Okay. People used to go and do a daily job just to meet their basic needs. Okay, but now
Mhm.
is the time for passion economy, where people work for their passion, and this has been in a race right after the COVID wave hit, because people lost their job. We have a one creator even on our platform who goes with the name called as Retouch, who lost his job. He did not even have anything to do. So the only thing he was good at was designing. So he started minting NFTs on our platform, and his life is changed. He's currently only on NFT. So when I did the phone call, when I did a video call with him, he was sitting in a shed. Okay, it doesn't even have a proper roofing. Okay, and this guy has a broken laptop. Okay, which doesn't even have a display. It has a laptop extra monitor connected to it, and this guy's connected. And I asked him, why are you doing this NFT? So he's like, I want to grow. He doesn't even know, like, I'm not saying English is everyone needs to know here, but he was talking in his mother tongue, and he was telling, I need to buy a laptop, okay, so that I can create more NFTs. And this is why we as a platform exist, to bring in justice for the fashion economy.
Definitely. And that was a great anecdote there. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's the perfect time to get into NFTs and understand. I mean, I think a lot of them are just getting into NFTs because it's popular, but people should understand that there are risks involved, just like any other investment. In terms of even the creators, right? Even the creators are not free. I mean, people have been having difficult times, but once you understand this space, you can actually become a fantastic, a person who, I mean, in terms of being recognized in the space, being able to make money as an artist. And I think in the traditional world, you haven't actually seen any artist, the smaller ones who are not making much, and trying to get recognition, going to galleries. You need that middleman to be able to survive in the space. But then your NFT is changing all that, where it gives you this platform. It gives you become your own boss, and you can make decisions on your own. You can decide what's best, what's not, and you don't have to depend on people to sort of buy your work. It's all about just understanding the space. If you have something fantastic where people are resonate with, and you can just go ahead and create a digital form of it, or just upload it in the blockchain, and you're done. It's up. And Sneha mentioned, platforms like WazirX has made it so simple for creators to come in and just start minting and making money. So, but very interesting time.
All right, but why are they so expensive? We're talking about democratizing this industry and how the conventional art was only for the super rich. But even this is really expensive based on the blockchain technology. So who are these Novio buyers? And how is it going to really make it accessible for all if it is going to be so expensive?
Yeah, Ruchi. Yes, Sangar.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
can
the
go on
idea
that.
is, I think the reason people find it more expensive is because of that one specific term, which is called gas fees. And when you mint it on the Ethereum platform, it's pretty expensive, close to $200, $300 just to mint a specific artwork on the blockchain. But there are different networks, and and in fact, people say that it's very expensive. There are artworks that are being sold for so little price, and it doesn't make sense at all. I mean, there are artists who undervalue their artworks just because they want to make a sale. You can find artworks that are for less than $10, $20. And yeah, it's not just for the rich, it's not just for anyone. And in fact, yeah, creators becoming collectors, that's the most fantastic thing I've seen in the NFT space. Go ahead, and
Yes,
I
Sangat.
think Ramesh has kind of covered what I wanted to say, but the thing is, there is a myth about this whole thing being expensive. The news that comes out and that people hear about in sort of like the popular stuff is about people selling for millions, and that is normally on Ethereum. But if you look at platforms like WazirX, gas fee is very, very affordable. A lot of the younger artists, a lot of the sort of as Sandesh said, the passion artists who are coming in, they have amazing work. They're so talented, and they're selling their, like beautifully rendered 3D images and things like that for under $100. So I think it is an absolute myth that art is expensive in this space. In fact, a lot of artists who also sell for a lot more in the real world or in the sort of traditional art space sell their NFTs for a lot lower. So you can actually get in on some of the biggest artists in the world at much lower price points. So you just have to find the right platform for you. I mean, there's Tezos, there's WRX, there's Solana, there's a whole lot other than just the Ethereum platforms. Ethereum is expensive, yes, but there are gas fee platforms as well. So That's a myth. I'm glad
You
we
just have to
hopefully
choose
get
the right
dispelled to some
platform.
people.
I like to add one thing to
Sure,
what
sure.
Angad said. I'll not call it as expensive when it comes to artist art. I'll say that they are into right place now. They are getting right
Mhm.
value for what they work for. Till now, we were not having a platform like that. So I'll say last year was that year of artist, and now it's going to be better because we got a platform where we can showcase our work, where we get that real value for our art. So the NFT is the
Mhm.
real place. So I am telling my all my artist friends, if you got something unique, if you got something which we have never seen, I'm sure you're gonna get amazing value in this NFT
So you
platform.
need to, yes, get onto this.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and there are a lot of artist communities which are present there. So it's not so I'll say it's not so easy to get there and showcase your work. So be in touch with this artist community. Whatever language you speak, there are people to help you. So be in touch with these communities, and they will help you for sure.
All right. But how are the typical or the conventional gallery owners reacting to this? And you all talked about being creators, collaborators, and collectors. So could you elaborate a little in terms of your own experience, Sneha? Yes,
I'll
that has
tell
come
you,
through.
few months back, I actually had my first exhibition, which is AR plus NFT exhibition, which had never happened in India before that.
Mhm.
So the space was the gallery. The physical space was the gallery, and my paintings were also minted as NFT on WazirX platform, because WazirX, the gallery, and me, we collaborated and we came up with this wonderful idea, which happened for the first time. So I'll tell you, galleries also. It's it varies, because different kinds of galleries are reacting to it differently. Now we have very different markets right now. What's happening is some people are not believing in NFT at the moment. They're saying it's just a fad, aaya hai chala jayega, let's just go ahead with what we are doing. There's another
Mhm.
kind of people who are from that fraternity, from that
Mhm.
space of gallery, who have been into this space for a long time, but they are giving this a chance. They are asking questions, they are
Mhm.
inquisitive, they want to know, okay, if this is a possibility, if this is actually the future, sorry. So
Correct.
a gallery like what I was associated with, they wanted to do this and they were very open to it. Some galleries aren't, but I'll tell you one thing that I'm seeing a major change happening is, as
Mhm.
artists are also moving into the field of NFT, more artists are moving into the field of NFT, and more artists are understanding that, okay, we probably don't need a middleman, and we can actually mint an NFT by ourselves, and have things transparent and also get a royalty, which is a blessing. Galleries are also getting into it. They are also
Correct.
willing to be a part of it now. Eventually what will happen is that we will all move towards it. Some people will take more time, some people will take less time, but as I can see, everyone is moving towards it in their own pace.
Definitely. And that is good news then for all, as you mentioned. So, Mr. Ramesh, this is for you. How are NFTs empowering content creators by enabling them with smart contracts on blockchains and ensuring that their art can never be destroyed?
I don't want to try. I'll try to not make it too technical. But the thing about the blockchain is anything written on the blockchain cannot be erased, cannot be deleted, cannot be updated, or cannot pretty much be. It's immutable. So in the
Mhm.
sense, like anytime someone writes something on the blockchain, it's stored there forever. So that which is why NFTs exist. So for example, if I as an artist, do this wonderful painting or something digitally, I can put it up in the
Mhm.
blockchain, and I know for certain that I'm going to mint it from one specific address, which is called a wallet address, which is sort of like a fingerprint. So
Mhm.
imagine anything I kind of put it up on the blockchain. I can sign the transaction using my fingerprint, which will make it pretty clear that it was minted or it was actually uploaded by me. And
All
what
right.
happens is when this actually takes place, there's few other things that actually happens. One, from which address it's being minted, that is like from my wallet I've been minting this work, which is pretty much
Mhm.
uploading the actual the work. The second thing that happens is it's time stamped. So when there is a timestamp, it's actually giving you the exact time when the artwork was uploaded on the blockchain. And then you have this transaction which is stored on the blocks. So in case now someone else tries to copy my work, put it up again on another platform, What happens is,
Mhm.
as a collector, you need to do your due diligence anyway. But most of these platforms have these green listing the creators, so you can
All
actually have a blue tick which will verify that it's from the right source. So anyway, for example, if people has his created his work, people can
right.
actually refer to the transaction, which is the called the transaction or the authenticity. So people can refer back to that. They'll know exactly which address minted it. So that's the
Mhm.
fingerprint from people or from me. And the next will be the transaction, what time the artwork is actually uploaded. So this is something that makes it pretty clear. You're getting the right artwork, and you cannot duplicate it, you cannot copy, you cannot replicate it, no matter. And like some like you'll hear it very often, you can have multiple Mona Lisas, but only one or original owner will have the exact the actual artwork.
Absolutely. And Mr. Sandesh, coming back to you, we're all waiting for the crypto bill. So, what do you think the presence of finely chalked out dynamic policies and governance protocols, how will they impact the early art adopters when it comes to the NFT space?
So even we are looking forward to the regulation. Even I can't say anything right now because even we do not
So
know
we,
what are the regulations. Yeah, regulations which are going to come in. But as
Mhm.
far as far so far, what we have done is we have done our due diligence from our side, and also how the taxation works for the NFT. We have already written a blog about it. So even if you consider this as a digital asset, the seller has to pay the GST, which is almost like 18%. All those things we have already formulated from our side, and also we have already explained this and catered this particular information onto our community so that they take care of it on themselves, because even like this is a space right now which is yet to be regulated. So it's a very tough question for me right now to answer, but we are looking forward to it.
All right. And one last question before we wrap up, and this is for all of you. You can take it one by one. That do you think NFTs are a new fad or a passing trend or something concrete that is going to stay here forever? And also, what is your advice to people who are new to the digital art world? So we can start with you, Hari.
Yeah. So as we already discussed, the best thing about NFTs, it cannot be destroyed. It will stay there forever. That is the best thing about NFT. As a artist, as a photographer, I can say that once I put my work there, it will stay forever. It's not like a physical work. It will be there. But if you are entering, if you are new to this, it's not just coming and putting your work and going back. You have to communicate with the because you never know who is your collector, who you want to communicate. So you have to, you have to be part of the community. So
Hmm.
NFT art is not just about putting art; it's also about being part of the community. So be there, put your work, be part of your communicate with other artists, collectors, and I'm sure there is a amazing world waiting for you. And as I said, you can always collaborate with a lot of other people, like other artists, other platforms, other collectors, like Ramesh. Here already doing such things. He's collecting a lot of work, and he connected a lot of artists through that.
Mhm.
So that is amazing. I can say through NFTs, I already met Angad and Ramesh before, and I know all of them. So NFT already connected a lot of artists. I never know that there are so many great artists in our country. So it's already working for me.
All right. And any advice to people who are new to the space?
I already said it's not just many people are just they are hearing like we can make a lot of money from NFT, so they are coming for one day and they are putting work and they are going back. It's not like that. You have to stay there and you have to know. First thing, when I put my first NFT in June, I waited for a month and I studied the market. What is
Mhm.
happening there? What work you have to put? According to that, I put. So if you come there, there are a lot of Twitter spaces. There are a lot of places. The discussions are happening. Be part of those discussions. You will understand what is happening and what is the trend. NFT runs on trends also, so you can understand what is the trend. You can put or you can become a trend maker also. It's all about
Definitely.
if you have something unique, you can also become like that.
All right. So,
So
Angad,
study
what's your
well and put
advice?
their work.
All right. Thank you. Angad, what's your advice to newbies in this space? And do you think it's a passing trend or it's here to stay?
So I think the important thing for us to understand and acknowledge is there's NFTs as art, and then there is NFT technology. I say NFT technology is something that will keep evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Even within the art world, it may not stay exactly the way it is. There have been trends that have already come and sort of are on this verge of fizzling out. There have been a lot of profile picture projects, 10K projects that were very sort of, they were trending for a long, long time, and now they seem to be slowing down. One of one artists, which is basically people who are creating unique pieces of art, seem to be on the up. Photography seems to be on the up. Lately, poetry seems to be on the up. So it is a technology that will evolve. It is a technology that you need to understand and innovate on. As you know, as an artist or an entrepreneur, you need to figure out how to make the technology work for you. So I do not see this as a fad or a bubble. And as far as for people coming in, creators who want to get into the space, I say come join the community as soon as you can, because like Hari said, the sooner you get in there, the sooner you start to understand what this space is about. And I think for artists and creators, the biggest value you get from this is the community, because otherwise, traditionally, artists never had communities. We all existed in single studios, solo studios. You learn so much and you learn how to navigate the space. So join the community and then figure out what you want to do in the space.
All right. Sneha, what's your take here?
So very rightly said, when I started my journey of NFT, I call myself a product of WazirX because WazirX actually introduced me to NFT. When that happened, one more thing, the better aspect to it is what happened is that community, what we call it, is it just all of a sudden, a lot of artists came together and we started helping each other out. We started talking about each other's art, and that sort of gave all of us a confidence boost that we needed. So the community aspect is of course very, very strong in the world of NFT, and I do not think NFT is a fad. Honestly, I don't know. To be very honest, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, only because nobody knows really. But what I see right now is that it is a NFT is a block that is building for metaverse, is what I see right now, because we are all moving towards metaverse, aren't
Right.
we? So, and the world is going to be digital, guys. It's going to be, we see. And gaming is all of a sudden, before my parents used to scold my brother, then do not game, do not game. All of a sudden, it's a good thing. Get into gaming because the world is going to be digital, and you require to be having that kind of knowledge in the future. So yeah, honestly, I do not. I'm hoping that it's not a fad and it do not fades away, because it is helping artists to an extent which is unbelievable. It's a pillar, it's a spine of artists right now, and it's only going to get better, hopefully. The advice that I want to give to the new artists right now is that yes, do get into it as soon as possible, because the faster you get, the more information you have. You will build a foundation right now which will be only stronger for you in the future. And also the community is amazing. Get into it, let's talk to other artists. And I'm so glad I got to meet all of you today, so I'm looking
That's
forward to talk to you after this. So
absolutely very well spoken. And coming back to you, Mr. Sandesh, what's your advice? And do you think it's here to stay?
It is here to stay, but people who tell it is not here to stay, I'm completely against it. And I feel that they are still ages back, because see, you use an app called as Facebook, you use an app called as Instagram. It has billions of people. Okay, they rename themselves into Meta. Now, if you say NFT is not here to stay, I don't know how to answer that. That's the one thing. And second thing is that Twitter has again almost a millions of users. Almost, I think, I'm not sure whether they have a billion user, but they're almost close to billion. But you can you can set your profile pic as an NFT. Okay. Now, and on top of that, recently Adobe. So when you are creating an artwork on Adobe, any of the Adobe's application, like be it Photoshop or be it Illustrator, okay, you can save as an NFT. Okay, so when these mega brands with the humongous customer base onboards NFT onto their platform natively, the question is do you want to invest it, or whether you want to invest it or not. Okay, so that's the answer for the first question. And for the second question, for the collectors, people say that, many of the people say that 90%, this is the term, this is a quote even I agree with, 90% of the NFTs would fail. I agree. Why? Even on your investment, okay, even on your investment, if you, whenever you do an investment, the basic fundamental to do an investment is diversify your investment, right? anything.
Yes.
You invest anywhere, like be it in stocks,
And then
be it in
stocks.
startups. Exactly, be it in startup, you diversify, you invest your money on 10 different things. 9 of them fail, but one of them give you the return which 9 of them combined cumulatively can't
Do
give you
not
that.
have.
Right?
All right.
Exactly. So the same thing I'm giving. This is a suggestion for all the collectors: diversify investment even on the NFT side. Okay,
All right.
don't just bet on only one thing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. And Mr. Ramesh, just coming to you before we wrap up, what is your advice and what do you think about this trend?
Well, I'm gonna agree with everyone. It's here to stay, and it's just gonna get better. I feel it's gonna completely evolve into something much, much more, efficient and much better.
Mm.
People calling it fad. They said the same thing about crypto, and crypto is here to stay. And I think eventually all the countries are gonna digitally convert their currencies. Similar, and yeah, when it comes to something that you hear very often is community. Community is going to be huge for now, and I feel like it's one of the biggest, best terms that you'll hear in the NFT space, which is why me and Angad here created the Colors of India community,
Mm-hmm.
DAO, where we're trying to empower the creators from India, from Asia, everyone. So so there's so much response, probably positive response from all the creators plus the collectors, and just people from every platform and everyone, and we're trying to build this big initiative to support the traditional artists, the creators from anyone, anywhere, from here, from India. Also, before we wrap up, I'd really like Vanga to recite his "Walk Me" poem. I think that's something everyone has to hear. And yeah, when it comes to advising new creators, the best time to get into anything, I mean, what do you say? Anything that's really good right at the moment is, yeah, do it at now, do it now. I feel once you understand the space, once you get in to meet the fantastic community, you'll get support and help from every individual that you can connect with in the NFT space. And it's a brilliant space, and it's something, yeah, you can get into the rabbit hole and you're going to explore something very interesting here. But yeah, just wish everyone a fantastic
All right.
journey.
All right. Great. Thank you so much. So, Angad, would you like to share something with our audience here?
Yes, I would love to. So there is a term in this community, in the NFT community, in what we call the Web3 community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that we've never come across in Web2, where everybody is looking out to get something for themselves, and there's never been a sense of community. This
Okay.
term is "we're all gonna make it." So if
Mm.
you ever go on NFT Twitter, which is like a whole other side of Twitter that all of us operate on, you'll
All
constantly
right.
see this hashtag that says "Wag me," and "Wag me" is "we're all gonna make it."
That's
So
wonderful.
so this is something that you don't get anywhere else, because everybody is invested in each other making it. So I'll do just the first verse of this poem. It's a much longer
Mhm.
poem, and I realize we're running out of time, but here
Yes.
it is.
Sure.
We're all gonna make it. We're all gonna make it. The dance of abundance, the chance of a lifetime. You'll get yours and I'll get mine. We're all gonna make it. Yes, we're all gonna make it. Thank you. So that's Wag
All
Me.
right.
Hey, amazing.
Thank you. That was very
So we
lovely,
all
and
gonna
that
make
was
it.
really nice. That was wonderful. And as you all said, that this is not just a passing trend; it is here to stay. So definitely get onto the bandwagon, whether you're an ardent digital artist or a budding crypto fanatic, or even if you want to sit on the fence. This is the time to invest in NFTs because they will continue to shake up the conventional art world as we knew it. So thank you all for this very interesting and insightful discussion. And thank you so much to our audience for watching this very special show.